Hi, everybody. Welcome to City Beat. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne. And, well, you might be wondering about my lovely wardrobe I'm wearing today. I'm wearing it because we're kicking off a brand new segment called Walking the Beat, where we feature big projects that are making a big difference in our city. And we're starting off with a huge one, a $1 billion project, otherwise known as Project Neon. Now, I'm standing in an area that, well, in a week or so, will not be very safe to stand because there'll be traffic. And I'm standing with someone intimately familiar with this, Mike Jansen, who is the Director of Public Works. Thanks for being with us.
Sure, great to be here, Nance.
Now, this ramp is really special to the city of Las Vegas, so could you explain that?
Yes, so much excitement right now in the city. We are standing on top of a brand new bridge on top of the Union Pacific Railroad, and this bridge does something really unique. It's going to help us connect 3 roads that were all dead ends prior to Project Neon. So on one direction, we're going to carry Industrial Road right over the Union Pacific Railroad tracks. On the other end, Union Pacific Railroad tracks, we're going to connect right into Grand Central Parkway. So Grand Central Parkway, Industrial Road will fully connect together, and additionally, Western Avenue is also going to connect at a T intersection. So it's a great project to connect 3 roads, making downtown access better and better.
And also, we know that Project Neon as a whole, while it's been a little bit of a headache for motorists, the downtown is really going to benefit for as far as getting in and out of downtown easier.
Truly so, Nance. So many improvements in this project. Actually, $91 million. That's how much the city has participated in this project to provide these great connections into downtown, including a new interchange that's going to service downtown called the Western Interchange. But really, these roadway connections are really going to make the connection between the Strip, downtown, so much better, so much easier, and we really think it's going to help spur additional development as well.
Okay, well, it's been an amazing project, and as I said, and I'll keep saying, done ahead of schedule and right on budget. So, Mike, don't go anywhere, but I'm going to walk over here and talk to Dale. Hi, Dale. This is Dale Keller, and he's the project manager with NDOT, Nevada Department of Transportation. We've been seeing the construction and feeling the construction since about mid-2016, but when was Project Neon even, talked about?
Nancy, this project's been 20 years in the making, and there's been a lot of effort planning from an environmental standpoint, from the design all the way down to the construction. We're very excited now that we're reaching the finish line for this very important project for the state as well as for the city of Las Vegas.
Now, when you plan something of this magnitude, I just picture 20 people sitting in a room around a big map. You can't just say, well, the traffic will just have to figure out how to get around it. I know my phone has been blowing up with endless notifications, which is great, from NDOT telling us about closures, that kind of thing. What goes into planning rerouting and making sure that people don't get too angry?
That's a very good point, and that was one of the biggest challenges for this job, was to figure out how we're going to deal with traffic as we build this project. So we took an approach and listened to the community, understand we don't want to impact 2 major freeways at the same time. That's what you saw back in 2017 with the reconstruction of US 95, and then 2018 with the reconstruction of I-15. Now, for the local streets, we had the same approach. We didn't want to disrupt all of downtown and limit access, because we knew that downtown and getting to and from was very important for everybody involved who worked and lived. So what we did, we had this kind of leapfrog effect. So we worked on one road and made sure the corridors were protected for traveling around our job site.
And also, Las Vegas drivers learned how to do the zip, let someone in, right? The alternating when you had to merge
zipper
lanes.
Merge.
Yes,
yeah, the zipper merge, which was a great, and it worked really well, especially when everybody was slow and congested. We wanted people to use all real estate as possible to take turns to move faster. And I believe that worked, and we'll continue to practice that as we move for future jobs.
All right, Dale, thank you. Don't go anywhere. Go hang out with Mike for a minute, because I'm going to go talk to the construction people, Kiewit. So stay with us. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Doing great, Nancy. Welcome.
I am talking to Jay Prosevic, and he is the Public Information Officer for Kiewit, and that's the company that's in charge of all of the construction, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's talk about safety at first, because we know this project, I'm going to say it one more time, got done ahead of schedule and on budget. How was the safety record because I always worry about the construction workers out there so close to traffic.
Well, we were very passionate about safety and building an incredible safety record. So just for a point of reference, nationally, the recordable injury rate is at a 1.0, and here on the Project Neon, we are at a 0.34, which which is a great record. And so we try to start with a craft-based safety model, giving ownership to the craft and making safety important to them. So it's a company-wide safety program, so everyone here is a safety manager and not just the safety personnel on the project.
Exactly, and we can vouch for this. Me and the crew have gotten a safety, not lecture, but safety tips from the people on the construction site as well as the railroad guys, because we're kind of in their jurisdiction as well. Let's give some kudos to the construction workers. I think one of the things that even people who were getting impatient with cones and detours really respected, they were out there 24/7, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with finishing early.
Finishing early, finishing ahead of time, making sure we have a quality product. We had over 500 local craftspeople working on this project, and they did at certain times worked 7 days a week, through holidays, through weekends. Just an amazing effort put out by everyone involved by the project, and can't give them enough credit.
So this is going to wrap up, guys, mid-May. May 16th, they're kind of doing a little internal celebration for this gigantic project, but people are still going to see some workers on site, and they may wonder what that's all about. So what's that all about?
Absolutely. Well, the mid-May date is just to get the road completed, to get everything opened up, get the cones off the roadways during the day. After that, we'll have ancillary things, landscaping, irrigation lines being put in, signs being installed, maybe some sidewalks here and there. So we're still going to be seeing work, and even some work maybe at night in certain areas, but typically during the regular work day and rush hours, we're going to be off the road.
Okay, sounds good. Guys, can you join me over here? We're going to get everybody together. So May 16th-ish is when the roads will be opened up, but be aware there are going to still be workers, so watch out for them. And we want to just say thank you. Ahead of schedule, on budget. And when we come back, we're going to move inside. I'm going to get rid of hat hair, and we're going to have more stories, including the story behind a very special volunteer with a citizen emergency response team. As we say goodbye, let's say goodbye to our drone. Congratulations to Nick Gonzalez, the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month. Nick is a code enforcement officer in our planning department. In October of 2018, he was inspecting a vacant building in the downtown area when he came across an incapacitated person in that building. Nick immediately called the city marshals to get medical attention for this person. Medics arrived and were able to save the person's life, thanks to Nick's quick reaction. Our code enforcement officers have a tough job. They are out in the community and are sometimes placed in dangerous situations as they inspect vacant properties and ensure that all properties are up to code and safe. For going above and beyond the call of duty on the job, we say congratulations to Nick Gonzalez, the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month.
No more pencils, no more books.
No more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out!
For summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
Huntington.
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Oh, hello there. Oh.
Where's that bear?
Welcome back to City Beat. Just a little bit of a wardrobe change from being out on that ramp for Project Neon. I do want to thank the City of Las Vegas, Kiewit, and NDOT one more time for all of their help with that Walking the Beat segment. You know, learning how to take care of yourself and your loved ones during an emergency is really such a valuable lesson, but some people are taking it a step further and getting training to help those in their entire neighborhood in case first responders can't respond immediately during an emergency. Melissa Duran has more.
Excuse me, my family, they're all in the church, they need help.
This is not real, but it could be.
Help!
Half of the people you see here are acting. The other half are training. It's all part of the Southern Nevada Community Emergency Response Team exercise hosted by the City of Las Vegas. Today's emergency scenario, an earthquake.
Community Emergency Response Team volunteers have been requested.
Nearly 50 CERT volunteers are participating, average citizens who want to know how to help when first responders aren't around. One of their instructors, Fernandez Leary.
Make sure that your teams stay together. You can't separate. When you're done with that assignment, don't wander. Get back, tell your team lead what's going on so he can radio in exactly what you did.
He's a former deputy fire chief and emergency manager. We got a chance to speak with him before the training.
Okay. How was your day?
Actually, it was really busy.
Even though he's retired from the fire department, Fernandez still believes in being prepared. These kinds of exercises take on a whole new meaning. You see, he's used to coming face to face with danger, but nothing could have prepared him for the evening of October 1st, 2017. He was at the Route 91 Harvest Festival with friends to enjoy some country music. His wife had stayed at home. Fernandez and his friends were near the back of the festival grounds when the unthinkable began.
Like most folks there, we didn't think those were gunshots at first. I certainly didn't. One half of my brain knew they were gunshots. The other side of my brain said, no way.
Fernandez and his friends began looking for a way to escape. What he saw that night from fellow concertgoers will forever live in his heart.
I saw acts of heroism, acts of selflessness everywhere. In fact, one of the first people I came upon was a gentleman that had been shot in the leg, and someone had taken a bandana of an American flag, okay, and had wrapped it around his leg and used that as a tourniquet. If they weren't trained that way, it was just instinct that maybe took over. They knew they had to stop bleeding.
It's just one of the many reasons why Fernandez wants citizens to volunteer for this type of training.
The fight or flight part takes over, and again, I think people just wanted to get out. But I think with CERT training, there might be a point or initially where folks may say, you know what, something bad is happening. I need to stay calm. If there are people around me that need assistance, I can probably help them. The training will teach you how to stop bleeding, what to look for if people are in shock, you know, what to do to help them in shock, what to do if someone's airway is closed, how do you open that up, recognizing those things.
Are you okay?
It's training that could save a life.
Sweet, good job, excellent.
If there is a disaster, they can be called out, but for me personally, I like the fact that I can protect my own family. If I don't have the opportunity to go out and help, at least I can keep myself and my family safe, which means that resources can go to help others.
It's a little stressful with the situation they're in, but it's good practice for when something big does happen, because I just got certified in January and we haven't had any emergencies happen yet. So I figure this is a good refresher, and you know, I won't be as intimidated when it actually happens. I'll be able to go in and know what to do.
And knowing what to do and how to do it is priceless.
You may not use this in a disaster, but you can use this every day in some form or fashion in your own life. You know, you can help somebody who's not breathing, not just CPR, but some other advanced skills that maybe you didn't know before. I think the program is absolutely invaluable.
For City Beat,
Slide her out and then I'll grab her head.
I'm Melissa Duran.
If you're interested in some training opportunities, go to nvcert.org. Thank you, Melissa Duran, for that story. Recently, the city of Las Vegas held its primary elections. The mayor was up for re-election for her third term, and voters in wards 1, 3, and 5 were selecting their council members. Mayor Carolyn Goodman and Councilman Creer in Ward 5 were able to win their election without having to go forward to the general elections. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But first, we were here in City Hall on April 17th when Councilman Creer was sworn in for his 4-year term. It was a ceremony filled with family, love, and a commitment to get right back to work. Councilman Cedric Creer was hardly in office a week when he was already out and about in his community, like attending the celebration of the start of the Miracle League Soccer for kids in our city.
I thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
He hit the ground running for what would be an abbreviated term. He won a special election in 2018 when the seat was vacated by Ricky Barlow, knowing he would have to turn right back around and run again this year. Apparently, he won the confidence of his neighbors in Ward 5 because he went on to get the majority of the votes in the April primary for a full 4-year term. At the April 17th City Council meeting, he was sworn in before fellow council members, supporters, and his family.
All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to congratulate Councilman Cedric Creer for his reelection. Congratulations.
With his family and his staff by his side, he took the oath.
That you will faithfully perform the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God. And further, your bona fide address is shown herein, and you will immediately notify the City of Las Vegas of any changes of address during your term.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Another 4 years. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Councilman Creer thanked the voters for the faith they are showing in him. He also thanked his fellow council members for helping him achieve that faith.
Thank you to my colleagues on the City Council. You guys have been wonderful to work with this past year, as well as the Mayor and Mayor Pro Temp who could not be here today. I couldn't do anything for our ward if it wasn't having the support of my colleagues on the council.
And last but definitely not least, he expressed his gratitude to his family members, 2 of whom flew in from across the country to be here on this special day.
Let me thank my wonderful wife, Kiba, for all that you do for us and our family. You've heard me say this many times. There is not one thing that I do in my life that if I didn't have the support of my wife, then I could not do what I do. And so thank you, Kiba, for everything that you do. Kennedy, Hagan, Drew, Kenneth, rounds out my immediate family who are here. Drew flew in from Houston last night to be here.
The ceremony wrapped up with a friendly welcome back from Councilman Stavros Anthony.
I just want to add congratulations. This is my Greek buddy here. We love Greek food together.
And other libations of Greek origin.
And, Cedric served with honor on the Board of Regents, and he's serving with honor on the City of Las Vegas. And I know Ward 5 and the city is in great hands. Thank you.
After a lot of photos, there was a brief break in the meeting, and we snuck in a quick interview with our councilman, where he thanked the voters and said his work for Ward 5 and the city marches forward.
And because it shows that they are entrusting where we're going and what we're doing, and also they believe in the fact that we're going to get a lot of things done. And so we have a lot of work to do, and there's no time to, to mess around with this. We got to get moving forward, and so thank you to the neighbors for voting for me.
Congratulations to Councilman Creer and to Mayor Carolyn Goodman. She was supposed to be sworn in at that same meeting. And while she is feeling better, a lot of people are asking, she just wasn't feeling well enough. She is scheduled to be sworn in at the first City Council meeting in May. Well, as we mentioned earlier, the reason that Councilman Creer and Mayor Goodman don't have to go forward to the general election is because our city charter dictates that any candidate in the primary that gets 50% plus 1 vote is declared the winner. That was not the case in Wards 1 and 3. Here are the results of all of the ballots. So the top 2 contenders in Wards 1 and 3 will move forward to the June 11th election. There's also going to be a special election for Ward 2. That seat was vacated by the resignation of Steve Soroka. Here is a list of those candidates in alphabetical order. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take you to a very unique project in downtown Las Vegas that is expected to draw artists from around the country.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back to City Beat. We are in Las Vegas City Hall. There's a brand new residential complex in downtown Las Vegas. Well, it's not just a residential complex, it's also a bookstore, and it's also a coffee shop and a courtyard. It's a very special place with a unique focus on art and literature. Welcome to The Lucy, named after the Latin word for light because it is designed to shed light on a creative community in downtown Las Vegas, starting with the reopening of the relocated Writer's Block bookstore and coffee shop.
Welcome to the Writer's Block at The Lucy. I've been wanting to say that a long time.
The grand opening and ribbon cutting was attended by local lovers of art and culture, including, of course, the owners of the Writer's Block, Scott Seeley and Drew Cohen. Also here, the founder of The Lucy and philanthropist Beverly Rogers, who explained the concept behind one location designed to attract creative people.
This, my friends, is known in the real estate industry as a mixed-use project. For the Rogers Foundation, it is the manifestation of the notion that it's possible to bring together in one space literary, visual, performance artists and their devotees so that they may congregate, create, and communicate.
Okay, go. Senator Jackie Rosen and Las Vegas City Councilman Bob Coffin joined in on the ribbon cutting before the doors were officially opened to the public. Inside this renovated building at Bonneville and 6th, you will find the brightly lit bookstore, coffee shop, walls lined with bookshelves, lots of art, and a courtyard that is situated right in the middle of 12 residential units. It's a first-of-its-kind complex that will not only attract locals who love literature and art, but will welcome artists and authors from across the country who will be able to lecture and mingle with locals all under one roof. Not everyone associates the city of Las Vegas with arts, literature, and culture, and not many people actually associate us with our beautiful wildlife. But we live in an area that's rich with desert and mountain terrains with stories of their own. Right now, we want to share this story with you. As our business and residential communities continue to grow, which is a good thing, some of our natural habitat animals are being forced out of their homes. Well, for at least one animal, it's good to know there's a group of dedicated people who are making sure when one door closes, another one opens. It's very early on this August morning here in the northwest part of the city, and when you look up, you see a beautiful sunrise. And when you look down, you just might see this rare sight. These are burrowing owls. While most people associate reptiles with the desert, these birds are actually indigenous to our region. Christiana Manville, a biologist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, says the birds love the outskirts of our city where they find food and ready-made homes for themselves.
They use desert tortoise burrows and kit fox burrows. Then in town, we think that maybe the owls are attracted to the edges of town because there's more irrigation and water and hence food. In the summer, they eat mostly insects.
But these wide open spaces are narrowing for the owls, not just because of their natural predators, but because of a threat closer to the ground. Construction means progress in many ways, but it also means the displacement of many animals, such as the burrowing owls.
They're a species of conservation concern, and so parts of the burrowing owl's range is declining. A lot of it is habitat loss.
But thanks to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife's Habitat Restoration Program, these beautiful birds are finding new homes in more remote areas of the city, both on public and private land. Christiana explains how the partnership program works.
I have money and technical assistance I can give them to do good things for wildlife. And so in Las Vegas, I did a project at Floydland Park, which is owned by the city of Las Vegas. And then we've also done a project with a local doctor here who's bought property. He's a photographer, is his hobby. And he bought property because he was concerned about the owls.
Here on the doctor's property, money from the program was used to put up this fencing to keep off-road vehicles and people from entering, crushing the openings of the burrows, possibly entombing the birds. Volunteers stepped up to do the rest.
And this past winter, we installed artificial burrows with the Boy Scouts. And it looks like we installed 4 burrows. It looks like 3 are now being used by owls.
She also formed a partnership with another property not too far from this area, Gilcrease Orchard. Here, more artificial burrows were built in 2 separate habitats, and it's been a win-win situation for the birds and the orchard.
Since the owls fly at night, and so do moths, and so if you've ever grown tomatoes and you've seen the big tomato hornworms, we don't have that problem here. And I contribute a lot of that to the owls.
The benefits that Mark Rubin sees to the crops here at Gilcrease answer that bigger question that sometimes arises. Why is it so important to protect our wildlife?
So it's balance, keeping everything in balance. The more species you have, they've evolved together. They each do a job in the community.
So really, it's just the wise thing to do. You know, Christiana says there's not a battle brewing between protectors of wildlife and our construction industry. Every crew she's come in contact with has been very respectful, which is a good thing because, by the way, since burrowing owls are a protected species under federal law, there are pretty hefty fines if anyone is caught intentionally hurting a bird or damaging their eggs. We want to thank you for joining us for this City Beat. We also want to thank Kiewit, NDOT, the City of Las Vegas, and everyone involved with Project Neon for helping us kick off our new segment, Walking the Beat, as we celebrated the finishing of Project Neon ahead of schedule and right on budget. We'll see you for the next City Beat.